The sun rose over the rolling hills of Suedo, casting a golden glow across the bustling township. The air was filled with the sounds of life awakening, roosters crowing, children laughing, and a distant hum of minibus taxis starting their daily routes. In the heart of this vibrant community lived a remarkable woman who was beloved by everyone in the neighborhood for her kindness. Known to all as Mama Precious. Her real name was Namvula, but the entire village knew her as the woman with a heart of gold and a string of misfortunes longer than the Limpopo River. They whispered about her in the markets and shebeens, calling her the woman whose bad luck had become a permanent resident. But Namvula hadn't always known such hardship. Years ago, she had married her sweetheart, Themba, just as he finished building their dream home, a modest but beautiful house with a tin roof that gleamed in the African sun. Back then, neighbors would cast envious glances their way, marveling at the young couple's good fortune. But life, as it often does, had other plans. Everything changed the day Themba didn't come home. He had left for work at the mine as usual, kissing Namvula goodbye and promising to bring home pap and chakalaka for dinner. One moment he was whistling a familiar tune, the next silence. The earth had swallowed him whole, leaving nothing but memories and unanswered questions. Before the dust could settle on Themba's unmarked grave, his family descended upon Namvula's home like a swarm of locusts. Leading the charge was Uncle Sifo, a man whose greed was matched only by his impressive girth, and Gogo Zanel, the self-proclaimed matriarch whose tongue was sharper than a panga. Namvula, stand up, Gogo Zanel barked, her voice cutting through the somber atmosphere like a knife. We know you tried as a wife, but we've come to claim what rightfully belongs to the family. You're just a visitor here, visitor. Namvula echoed, her voice barely above a whisper. But I shared his struggles, his dreams. We all struggled, Uncle Sifo interjected, his belly jiggling with each word. Don't start with the waterworks now. Pack your things and move to the servants' quarters. And be grateful we're letting you stay at all. Namvula's eyes flashed with a fire that had long been dormant. You'll hear from my people, she declared, her chin held high. Gogo Zanel cackled, a sound like dried maize kernels rattling in a tin can. Your people, can they even afford a bag of mealy meal? You won't see the inside of this house again, let alone the servants' quarters. Those words stung Namvula like 1,000 angry bees. As her in-laws began rifling through her belongings, she stumbled out into the yard, her world spinning. The neighbors peered over their fences, curiosity and pity mingling in their eyes. But Namvula was not one to accept defeat lying down. With nothing but the clothes on her back and a fire in her belly, she set out to reclaim what was rightfully hers. Her first stop was the local Sangoma, a wizened old woman with eyes that seemed to peer into your very soul. Ah, Namvula, the Sangoma croaked, her voice like gravel underfoot. I've been expecting you. The ancestors have shown me your plight. Namvula poured out her story, tears flowing freely. The Sangoma listened, nodding sagely, before reaching for a small pouch tied with twine. Take this, she said, pressing the pouch into Namvula's hand. Sprinkle its contents around your home at midnight. The spirits will do the rest. Hope flickering in her heart, Namvula waited for nightfall. As the clock struck 12, she crept back to her house, the pouch clutched tightly in her fist. With trembling hands, she began to sprinkle its contents, a mixture of herbs and what looked suspiciously like chili powder, around the perimeter. No sooner had she finished than a blood-curdling scream erupted from inside the house. Uncle Sifo came barreling out the front door, his eyes wild and streaming. Behind him, Gogo Zanel emerged, sneezing violently and scratching at her arms, as if attacked by invisible mosquitoes. Witchcraft, Uncle Sifo bellowed, his voice echoing through the quiet night. This place is cursed. Gogo Zanel, between sneezes, managed to gasp out, We're leaving, keep your haunted house. As they fled into the darkness, tripping over each other in their haste, Namvula couldn't help but let out a small chuckle. She walked back into her home, head held high, and settled into her favorite chair. The next morning, word spread through Suedo like wildfire. The tale of how Namvula had outwitted her greedy in-laws grew with each retelling. Some said she had summoned an army of Tokolachas, while others swore they saw the ghost of Themba chasing his family down the street. Namvula, for her part, said nothing. She simply went about her days with a small, knowing smile. And if anyone noticed that her garden suddenly began producing the spiciest chilies in all of Suedo, Well, that was just another mystery to add to the legend of Mama Precious. As the years passed, Namvula's home became a beacon of hope in the community. She opened her doors to those in need, offering a warm meal and a sympathetic ear. Kids from all around would flock to her yard, eager for her stories. Would gather in her yard to hear stories of triumph over adversity, and young couples sought her blessing before marriage. The very in-laws who had once cast her out now watched from afar, muttering about the injustice of it all. But they dared not approach, for the memory of that night still sent chills running down their spines, reminding them of the fear they once upon a time. There was a night that changed everything for them. Felt down their spines. And so, in the heart of Suedo, Mama Precious lived on, a testament to the power of resilience, community, and a little bit of mischief. Her laughter rang out across the township, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always room for a good joke, especially if it's at the expense of those who deserve it. As the sun set on another day in Suedo, casting long shadows across the dusty streets, the air filled with the aroma of Mama Precious's famous chakalaka. Neighbors gathered on her stoop, sharing stories and dreams, their voices carrying on the evening breeze. And if you listen closely, you might just hear the faint sound of Themba's whistle, a ghostly tune that seemed to say, "Well done, my love, well done indeed."